What is up, guys? It has been like a lot of hot here lately, and it's overcast. No, it's not gonna rain, I promise. But it is currently 94 degrees in the garden. But the plants have really been suffering from the heat lately, including a few I was surprised about because, I mean, I've never grown some of these before. And it looks like the Tahitian melons are not gonna do as well as I thought they would all season long. I have 2 Tahitian melon plants right here. There's one and the other one's over there. And for some reason, all of their beginning foliage has been dying back slowly. And I've got a few ugly looking vines down here. And I've seen a few squash bugs, not too many. I know it's not that. They haven't completely infested this plant. Even when I look for them, I can barely find 1 or 2. So that's not what's killing this. And I'm not sure what it is, but because all of this foliage started dying at the onset of our 95+ degree days, I'm just assuming it's probably that. Thankfully, I already have these mammoths growing. And they're starting to yellow, which means they're gonna turn to their true form, their fully mature color and hardness pretty soon. I've got 4 here. There's this big massive guy down here too. So at the very least, I will have 4 Tahitian melons fully ripened that I can store for the winter. If these 2 plants don't make it through, I'm not sure what's going on. They're getting watered. I've given them fertilizer. But I've never grown this plant before. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes you get a certain plant you think will do well in your area, and then it just dies. That cannot be said about these sunflowers though. Look at this. I can't even wrap my mind around how beautiful these sunflowers are. Now, I've spoken about these sunflowers multiple times. You can find them on nativeseedsearch.org. What is all, oh, it's a fly. And I saved seeds from last year. I think they cross-pollinated because they are traditionally just plain yellow sunflowers. But over here on one of these plants, because all of these plants were self-seeded from last year, I have these amazing red rings around this plant and this plant specifically. And I had a reddish yellow sunflower last year. And of course, bees and pollinators, I think they cross-pollinated. And it's just so amazing and I'm so excited. I am absolutely gonna save seeds this year as well. Even though I didn't plant any this year, these were all self-seeded, which is ridiculous. But in the future, I'm thinking about it. I don't know yet, I'm thinking about it. Don't get your hopes up, but I might save a bunch of seeds from these guys and then either sell them on Etsy or something, or give them out to some followers with a giveaway. They are so cool. Look at that. It's my favorite part of the garden. And I have been searching these plants every single day for squash bugs. And I pulled a few off. I really hit them pretty hard at the beginning. But they're just not taking the heat very well. Especially this Denise. Man, it did pretty poorly last year as well. Look at this. This is just terrible. And I can't really do anything to help that. They're not protected under the shade cloth. I just hope that I get a bunch of cross-pollination. Of course I will. The bees are all over these plants, but I want a bunch of cross-pollination this year. I'm gonna save seeds from any viable squash that I get. And we're just gonna start a landrace, a hybrid variety of squash that hopefully will just thrive in my extremely hot and arid desert environment. My peppers are doing great, but of course they love the heat. That's why they are my favorite plant to grow. That's why New Mexico is so popular for hot peppers. My asparagus beans are also doing great. I've been harvesting off them pretty regularly for the past few days. Although I do have to spray them down before I harvest them. For some reason, the aphids and the ants that cultivate the aphids, I'll explain that in a second, love beans. I don't know why. It's a problem every year. They're really only bad on my beans. I don't know if you know this, but ants farm aphids. As in, they will protect them and nurture them like little babies so that they can feed off of them. And that's why if you see a bunch of aphids on something and then ants all over it, they are literally growing aphids. Ugh. And my lovely rattlesnake pole beans are slowly dying. These guys are about at the end of their life. They didn't do well for me last year. You can even tell the difference. I planted 2 asparagus beans over here, which are green and beautiful and lovely compared to the yellowing and pained rattlesnake pole beans. At least I got a few beans off of them before they croaked. They're supposed to be a heat-tolerant pole bean, but I think when they mean heat, they mean humid heat, not arid heat. And you can see there's a slight breeze right now. At 95 degrees, that wind blowing is just hot air. And everything just dries up. So I gave the rattlesnake pole beans another chance this year. I don't think I'm gonna give them one next year. I think we're done trying. They're just not gonna work out. At this point, my best contenders for arid, desert, heat-tolerant pole beans are gonna be cowpeas or the Chinese noodle beans, the asparagus beans. Oh well, we had a good run. I got 5 beans. Let's pick up these guys. Look at this gorgeous tomato that is completely ruined by blossom end rot. Same with this guy. Unfortunately, with this new watering system I'm testing out this year with the drip system, I had a lot of blossom end rot on my determinate tomatoes, which stinks. But it makes for good chicken food. Hi, pretty ladies. Hold on. Now this looks like a mess, and it is. But when the gnats were really bad, they've dwindled down for now. I think their breeding cycle is over. This shade cloth, just completely massed over the coop, was the only thing that protected the girls from both the heat and the gnats at the same time. They absolutely love it. They spend most of the day under the coop, and it's pretty cool under there with the shade cloth. I need to, at some point, build a permanent shade structure here. For now, this works. It's cheap. It was free, technically. Looks really bad, but it works. My chickens are alive, and they're happy. They don't care how it looks. Only me. And I think that's something a lot of homesteaders struggle with. They want everything to be picture perfect and beautiful and Instagram worthy. But it's expensive. And sometimes you just have to do what you can to make the most of your situation. Like, layer buku amounts of shade cloth in a haphazard way over your chicken coop so that your chickens can survive a couple weeks with biting midges and 100-degree days. And speaking of, I've only gotten 4 eggs each day these past 2 days. these girls seriously take a hit when it's this hot. They will stop laying as much, and I'm not super complaining about it because I still have so many eggs that I need to do something with. So I'm thankful for the reprieve in their laying, even if it's partially because they're suffering. Because I don't have to work with, you know, 10 eggs a day. But I'm about done with my evening chores, and it is still hot despite the breeze, because the breeze is 95 degrees. So I'm gonna head inside. Chase just got home from work, and I will catch you guys on the next one.